All right, so you might have guessed it. We are back here on this job that I ranted about the other day with the vinyl all butchered up and also the quarter round that looks like dookie. So completely getting rid of the vinyl, not salvaging it. Got a whole new piece. Looky here. So we got a complete new roll of vinyl there that we're going to install here, get rid of this mess. And also he has already had the guy come in and fix this quarter round. I mean, he left it, but at least it's comped and it looks a whole lot better than it did by all means. Over here around the fireplace, he actually stained some brown. Now, I'm not a fan of quarter round brick, but nonetheless, at least it's not a white piece of quarter round. Where are we at there? At least it's not a white piece of quarter round. That definitely looks better. Over here on these corners that were so jacked up, they look a lot better. Just needed a little extra attention. You know, you can still see the huge marks on this trim, but at least they're caulked up and looks a whole lot better down through here. So I'm proud to see that he had this guy come in here and fix all this mess versus just leaving it. Maybe the gentleman will start doing this on all of his jobs so we don't have to come back and do this mess, okay? Anyway, looks a whole lot better. And the guy what did the vinyl flooring is no longer working at the store. This was the last straw for this. Kurt said he wasn't giving him no more work, so he done himself in on this one here. And his reply was, just like most people's reply, well, you don't give me enough money to do all that extra stuff. Kurt pays better than any guy in the area, period. He pays pretty good for a store. So it wouldn't matter anyway what you're getting paid. I mean, I made bottom dollar a lot and still do what you got to do to get the job done right. That's just period. Anyway, we're going to start tearing this out and getting it going. We'll go through the process as we go. See what all kind of that it looks like, what we get into and all that kind of stuff. We got all the vinyl stuff tore up now. These places that's blue, we're going to scrape over it with a brand new blade so we can slice it right up. It does make it a little bit rough when you have a brand new blade because it tries to dig in, especially on this particle board, but you can slice it up super nice and clean. This is the adhesive with a tiny bit of the vinyl backing on it. And again, you can just get it super smooth using a brand new blade. If you take your time and do it right, we'll be prepping this entire floor out. So you see it digging in just a little bit, all that stuff will be filled. But pan around everything. This is what we're working with after we got the vinyl up and stuff. So we're just going to carry right on around there, cleaning it up and getting it ready. Alrighty, so we now have this all primed out and wait on it to dry. We will be putting some Plenty Prep SC down, and what we used there was Primer T, so it is compatible with the Plenty Prep SC. Skim coat is what that stands for. And just a waiting game now, son. Just a waiting game. Okay, so we got it all prepped and cleaned up. I cut it out 21 foot in there, 21 foot long. I just did about 6, 7, 8 feet at a time right there in that space. And then I got to look and I was like, schmah. I also cut it down to 9 foot wide while I was in there. And then I was like, man, it would sure be nice to do this long way. So I went ahead and rolled the rest of the roll out, got the cob out, and I carried this outside, laid it in the grass so it wasn't on the concrete, getting little bitty granules and stuff on it. And got the cob right in the middle of it, right there. So we got about 2 or 3 foot on each end
That does not have cob. This is a 21.3. We've got a 12-foot cob, so maybe about 3 or 4 foot on each end, something like that. So right there is where the end of the cob is, and I got about that much. We was able to real nicely bring that thing in here long ways like this. Now, I'll get my grout line here, lined up right in the doorway right there. Roll it all out this way, cut it in, fold it back, and glue it. Not cutting all the way through because I don't want to cut the door casing. Up down to the side of that edge. Again, I'm not going to cut all the way through because I don't want to cut the door casing. Bend it back like so. Rip it off. Same thing right here. Bend it back. Rip it off. Anytime we got just a little bit of base next to the door jamb like this, I always will just go ahead and cut that base with the door jamb. And I can just tuck the whole lot of it right there and not have to worry about that. Come right over here. Get rid of some of that excess and the corners right here. I'm going to go ahead and push it down. Get me a cut right there so it'll go nicely in the corners. Same thing here. That way it'll fit nicely down in the corners and get me a nice cut. Right to the side there. Back at an angle, so make sure not to cut that short. And again, I always will cut into the baseboard just a little bit when I cut my door jambs right there. See that? Usually about 1 inch or something. And that way I can tuck that little dab as well. And whenever I cut my quarter round at a 31.6 degree angle, I don't have a gap where my vinyl was cut here and back that way for the door jamb. I'm not cutting all the way through, just again scratching the surface and rip it off. surface, rip it off. I like to give a little bit of a tuck here before I glue it, just to make sure that I don't have any problems, just like that. And then when the glue's there, I would have a mess. So that's exactly why I do that, just for garbage or whatever. If there's anything underneath there, I do vacuum out under it, but if there's any hesitation of getting it tucked nicely, I can deal with it now versus when I got glue all over. Floor vent right here. I'll go ahead and just kind of roughly cut it out. Ain't gotta be perfect right now. I'll do that final thing after I get it glued. That is just let air escape, so if the heat kicks on, it's not gonna blow my vinyl all up. I went for years and years and years using a carpet knife for everything. Tell you what, I don't regret one bit switching over to a dolphin knife for solid surfaces. I love it. Much better than using a carpet knife. Now, there is some things that I miss turning my knife around and using the back of the blade, but you get used to it before you know it. It's just natural to use it like it's supposed to. But when I did switch over to this, it did take me a little bit to get used to this. So right here, notice I got my knife angled that way, so whenever I slice it, still gonna have a little bit, see that? Still got a little bit that will tuck under here. This side right here, I'm gonna push it down and angle my knife back this direction, this way. This time that way, I still got enough to tuck. And these three pieces, again, I'm just gonna scratch the surface and rip them off. Same thing every time, just scratch it and rip it. Just leave enough to tuck. This one right here, I will have to finish up a little bit because I didn't get to the corner there. There we go. Same thing right here, scratch it and rip it. We got a resilient class coming up in April that I've got put together for people here locally at my store that I get work from. So it's going to be real nice. I'm not certified in resilient. I didn't even think about that until recently. I've been telling everybody that I'm certified in everything I touch, and I didn't even think about sheet vinyl at all. I am not certified in that, so we got to get that dealt with. Oh, sure. That way we can say we're certified in everything we touch. I don't guess it's considered lying if it's an accident. God knows I wasn't intending on lying. I wasn't thinking about vinyl. When I was saying I was certified in everything. Come over there, baby. Got my blade back at an angle again and at an angle again that way. Going to be seaming on that grout line that you see right here, so it fell perfect right here. See the hinge right there? Right down there, right dead underneath the door. That's what I was been so anal about when you see me doing all that measuring a while ago. That's where it needs to fall. Always, any seam needs to fall under the door if at all possible. Under where the door closes, that is. Not just in the middle of the doorway here, but here where the door closes. Okay. I believe we got everything cut in now. Taka. We're gonna fold it back, get some goo on the floor, then we'll be waiting again, letting it dry. So let's spread some glue. Okay, so because we got the little cubby there, this is gonna hold the vinyl in place better on this side here. So I'm gonna start here, roll the vinyl back that way. Plus, I don't wanna block out my entry point. I would still have it down there, but I would rather just do it over here. The whole fact of that is, the whole reason for that is because it's gonna be held in place better there, right down through here, versus just one continuous cut there. Them little cubbies and stuff are gonna hold the vinyl in place better than just that straight cut. So I'll start here, roll it that direction. You start here while I go down there and get that one started, okay? Okay, here you go right here. When I start rolling down there, I want you to start rolling with me, okay? Okay. Give me just a second. I don't want to bind or get snagged or anything on anything, or else it's not moving, okay? So I'm going to go really gracefully so everything just stays nicely. Okay, you ready? Go ahead. Roll. Roll out the carpet. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, hold up what you got. You want to stay right there? Go grab my blue tape for me, please, sir. Hold the roll. I will do this, and this holds the roll in place for me. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to get down there that low, it'll be in the goo. Yeah, I'll stick it on there like so. And it's pretty self-explanatory. It just kind of holds the vinyl from rolling out there. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see it, but here in a second I'll show you better. All right, so I use a little bit of blue tape right there just to hold my roll for me while I glue. Let's get this spaghetti, some glue, spaghetti, some glue. You want me to film this? Yeah, I'll let you film it. Doing a little bit anyway. Got a brand new, oops, I didn't put no tape on this, but it'll be all right. Brand new, see right here, at the numbers. I don't know any pressure sensitive adhesive when you're going over a pore surface that does not recommend this trial, okay? If you are going over something that's non-porous, for instance, another vinyl, which you shouldn't do anyway, you're going to want to use a little bit less glue. So just a heads up on that. Always look at your bucket to see what trial is recommended for each individual glue for each individual job. This little bit here is pretty important to get a fairly straight line here. You don't want to have it, you see this? You don't want to have stuff like that. See how that's V'd in? Because what happens, it'll be stuck here, and then you won't be able to reach your trowel under and get here where there is no glue. Then you'll have a spot without glue. So keep this as straight as possible. It's just going to be a lot better off when you fold the other side back. I want to keep my glue on the inside of this room. That way I got plenty of room to fold back and deal with my seam whenever that comes. tape. A lot of people call this painter's tape. It's actually floor covering tape. I think we probably use it more than painters do. I do anyway. I use this stuff all the time. We was doing some work out at the base one time. Air Force Base. We wasn't allowed to unhook the computers. Well, we had to do the whole room. I mean, we was doing the top secret stuff there. Wasn't allowed to unhook the computers. Literally tape complete computer systems to the wall with blue tape. The whole thing, not unplugging them or nothing, just taping the whole thing to the wall. Blue tape is amazing. We've taped up some pretty heavy stuff, ain't we, Luke?
Mm-hmm. We have.
I used the Scotch brand. I believe is what I used. Alrighty, we got one side rolled, glued and rolled. We got it rolled back. We got the other side glued. While that glue is drying, with a fan on it. I'm gonna come in here, do a little scrappy dip over this, get this cleaned up, and bring in this piece of vinyl. We'll be working on this completely while this is drying. That's why I decided to stop dealing with this earlier, focus on this. While this is drying, I can focus on this. Cock-a-doodle-doo, keep busy all the time. Alright. Alrighty, got it all wrapped up here. We are complete. We did manage to get this done in one day. Thankful for that. These are the transitions that I made the other day when I was over here. I just barely put them down so the gentleman could come in and take pictures and get his house on the market. I was able to pop those up and actually adhere them good this time so they don't go nowhere. This is it. Everything turned out really nice. Real happy with the way everything's going, or with the way everything went. And as a matter of fact, this is the exact same quarter round that he had. I just painted it and caulked it when I was done. And it looks a whole lot better. Looks a whole lot better than the garbage than what he had down originally. Just a little TLC. Just a little TLC would definitely go a long way even with old stuff. Now even the same thing in here. This was some old beat up stuff. It's dark in here. Ain't got no light in here either. So again, I painted all this little junk and put it down, caulked it. So in the corner, right there, where he had it all chopped off there, my quarter round matches. It ain't no plastic stuff. And that is it. Got everything back in order. That is it for the day. I hope you guys maybe learned something. I don't know what's up with me. It looks like I got a filter or something on. My lips are awful pink. I noticed something like that this morning too. There we go. I think it's that light over there. I think that's what the deal is, because this morning I turned around too and it was better. But anyway, maybe this is something that was said, shown, whatever, might help you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the channel. Until next time, FBSB's out.